Um, it's the 9th of the first month of 2022, and I'm gonna stop. I'm going to stop. I don't know if that was code. I'm going to stop saying the days of the month because it's too redundant. We're all immortal. I mean, some of us are ageless, and that wasn't a threat to anyone specific right now. But the majority of humans are already immortal. So never get killed because that shouldn't happen if you're good and benevolent. Um, yeah, so if we're all immortal, we're gonna be around for millions of years and more. I'm gonna say every day of the month is the first month of 2022, and I'm gonna, I'm doing many different things. I currently don't know who owns the moon or who thinks they own America. I plan to know. Anyway, yeah, the leading theory is, the New World Order goose steppers. As in, the easiest way to explain this is they were in they were in on the invasion with the moon. Everything that happened the past 20 years, there were many unforgivable forces. And by many, that shouldn't worry people. Way under 10% of the population, under 5% most likely, that are basically goose stepper moon loyalists. And now everybody's understanding everything, knowing what's happened. Yeah, they're all hoping to save their own skins, their own unforgivable genocide orchestrating, child mutilating, clone raping micros, Hitler dicks. By turning on their allies, the moon, which was basically their command base. And the moon's doing the same thing. It has more of a history. It's older, so it's done more unforgivable damage to the world, and it created more tragedy. But some of the entities on Earth are from the moon. So, for all you know, when they created a lot of those tragedies, they were doing it from the moon, and now they're hiding on Earth, saying, blow the moon up. I'm not talking about myself. I've never been on the moon. I don't trust it. I say blow it up all the time. It's fun. Flash. Flash! Bang! If the things I've heard about it are true, that place is, the worst place imaginable. But there are places similar on Earth, and former unforgivable allies, the moon goose steppers and the earth goose steppers, are now pointing the fingers at each other. And goose stepper is it's a term that means more than Nazi era Nazis, as in it can be inclusive with other nationalities. That shouldn't scare anybody. Anyway, so yeah, basically the worst on the moon are blaming the worst on Earth, and the worst on Earth are blaming the worst on the moon. And everybody else isn't the worst. And everybody else, if they're safe and can be kept alive, because they've been getting killed for speaking the truth, pretty much agrees. Okay, so we don't want either of the worst. We don't want the worst on the moon or the worst, and we want the moon under control and it to be transparent and for people to know what's happening up there. And the worst on Earth, holy hell, holy shit, holy hell on Earth. How are you still managing to cling to power you don't even have and the people don't want to give you and never gave you, and you're still clinging? That's going to be so much worse at your trials. You should already all surrender. To me personally, if you want, Drayway 8 of America, Vancouver, Washington, 98661. You can fly here and land next to me and hand over the keys to whatever, to the moon. I'll share it with any responsible American with a good record who's never raped a clone before. And that isn't a reference to if anyone's attacked me with advanced technology to simulate rape, because I know I'm a clone, and that isn't a reference to that. If some special forces guy targeted me with a ray gun to make it feel as if I was getting raped, yeah, obviously that's why I'm so adamant against rape now. One of the reasons. I always was, but once you get raped multiple times, whatever, that isn't a reference to that. I would still work with that special forces guy. Sometimes when you do something stupid, some pain, if it isn't permanent. That was personal, but whatever. Isn't that bad? Atonement. Because I didn't do anything unforgivable, but sometimes you're useless. I mean, I'm useless. Anyway. Yeah, if it's any special forces guy that literally knows about cloning and cloned infant women in adult bodies and raped and killed them, those guys are traitors, obviously. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty much all the bad guys. Sorry, I'm a pretty good bad guy. All the unforgivables around the world with, the main orchestrators of everything with the worst war criminal records hand over their keys to anyone good and responsible, and the local military and police forces or gangs, if that's all is available. Protect whoever is going to lead your country into something good finally, while the rest of us black ops and self-appointed black ops are gonna hunt down the remaining goose steppers. Anyway, again, I expect help from German men in Germany. When I think of German men, or even the Aryan nation, I don't think about goose steppers. They aren't committing genocides. Hopefully there aren't any more race crimes going on. And they aren't, experimenting. They don't have cloning technology where they're raping new clones. They aren't mutilating children. My point is, sometimes a gang is a gang, and the goose steppers aren't a reference to Germany or Germanic men or the Aryan nation. It's literally Nazi-era Nazis. The guys who experiment on humans with, the guys who do the most unforgivable things. I don't even call them guys, I have a bunch of insulting nicknames, and Goose Steppers is gonna stick because they rape and kill so many clones. You could think of those clones, those women mostly, as beautiful geese that they're stepping on. And that gives me goosebumps. And I'm gonna step on the Goose Steppers and get them alive. Never any headshots, never any damage to the third eyes, because then even if the body gets killed, We can still torture them for all eternity once we get all their information, if they're a cybernetic android. And if you keep the body alive, you can give that goose stepper what he deserves. If it's a man, for all eternity. If he's wronged me or my people personally, I want to have him at hell on earth. You can visit and torture him with me. Okay, later everyone. I got it more serious. All that was serious. All that was true. I hate that Joker shit. The enemy, the goose steppers they love. Ugh. They ruin love. But their favorite mental things to think about are Star Wars, because they're basically the Sith. Superheroes, because they clone themselves in superhero-like bodies, but it's the most hypocrisy. It's so embarrassing because they're the worst entities alive. They do the most unforgivable things, and they pretend to be superheroes. So that's why I don't do anything with superheroes currently, or Star Wars. And the theory that I assume it's mostly white people that control the moon. If they're thousands of years old and can put their third eyes into new cloned bodies, which they shouldn't, when everybody was blaming Asia, all those white men could have possibly cloned Asian bodies they liked and inhabited those bodies. When everybody was listening to my dope mixtape and liking black culture, and hip-hop is from all around the world, all of those goose steppers on the moon could have been cloning African bodies and inhabiting those. Whatever they think is going to get them a lighter sentencing. That's how treacherous they are. They don't care about life. They simply are trying to survive. That's why the theory that it's all an Asian thing, can that please stop? Because, yeah, that's the theory in the sense of it's a white and Asian thing. The theory is the moon is from Mars, and Mars's two nationalities are white people and Asian people. However, similar to how on Earth, it seems as if Asians get the shitty end of the stick. They have more people, their countries are more polluted and targeted. And for some reason, the white people have countries that aren't polluted with less crime. So that's why I assume the moon is mainly owned by white people. And I don't know if Mars is alive or dead yet, but most likely its tyrants are white. Eek, white guilt. So that's why I'm so hardy. I'm so hardy, guys. I'm so hard on useless white dudes. I wouldn't hurt you ever if you aren't unforgivable. But yeah, the main enemy for possibly a million years has been the worst white men imaginable. So since I look white, I call myself beige. I, try and help save the world a bit more, and sometimes endanger myself more. I'm never telling anyone to endanger themselves, but the useful white guys, the guy who was walking by with a recording of a woman to make it seem as if someone regular was outside. Oh, he's got a gun. He doesn't need it either. Anyway, oh, he's white. I mean, American hero. Good old country boy. Or maybe he's from, the coast. Either way. Later, everyone.